We are going to start with equilibrium of coplanar non-concurrent forces system. Okay. Now, initially we finished with coplanar concurrent force system. Okay, and I hope you all know the definition. What is concurrent force system and what is non-concurrent force system? So, what is concurrent force system? All the forces which are passing through a single point, they are called as concurrent force system, whereas all the forces which are not passing through a single point, they are called as non-concurrent force system. Now, in this chapter, what we are going to study is initially the theory part, that is, what are the different types of supports, what are the different types of beams, what are the different types of loads. So these three things we are going to study in today's class. So the first one is, what are the different types of supports, what are the different types of supports. So we have basically four types of supports. That is, one is simple support, roller support, hinged support, and fixed support. So these are the different types of systems. So these supports are basically given for a beam, or any structural member. Now, so as you can see, simple support. What are simple supports? Simple supports are those which exert reactions perpendicular to the plane of support. They restrict the translation of body in one direction only, but they do not restrict the rotation. In the sense, see, you can see this beam, you can see this horizontal part, wherein this A and B, they are nothing but they are supports. They are supports which are given to the beam which is in the horizontal direction. And we all know that the reactions will always be perpendicular to the plane of action. That is what is being seen in the second diagram here, wherein reaction at A and reaction at B, they are always vertical. Now, in the second sentence, what they say is they restrict translation of body in one direction only. The translation of body in the sense movement of body or deformation of body. It will not allow the beam to come down. So it will restrict the beam to come down. That is only in one direction, but it will not restrict the rotation. Rotation in the sense, sometimes due to application of load, there might be the rotation of this beam, which will not be taken care by these simple supports. Now, what is this rotation of beam? So once we come ahead of this lecture, you will clearly understand so as to what actually is the rotation of the beam. So I hope simple supports is clear to everyone. Simple support are nothing but they are the supports which are given to the beam. So these supports will have reactions which will be perpendicular to the plane of actions. They will restrict only the translation in the one direction, but they will not restrict the rotation. So this is all about simple support. Now let us come down to the next type of support, that is roller support. Roller support is nothing but it is also a similar kind of simple support only. Okay, so these roller supports are those which exerts reactions perpendicular to the plane of support. They restrict the translation of body along one direction only, and rotation is allowed here. In the sense, the same definition as that of simple support. So it does not take care of rotation. Now I want everybody to make a note of this notation, how the roller support is being denoted. A triangle with two circles, okay, along with one line. So this is the notation how you actually denote the roller support. So keep one thing in mind: whenever you come across a roller support, the number of reactions you are going to have is only one, and that will be in vertical direction. I repeat, whenever you come across a roller support, you will have only one reaction, that will be a vertical reaction. That will be a vertical reaction, and you will not have any other reaction other than a vertical reaction. So as you can see in this diagram, there is a beam AB which has a roller support at A as well as at B, So you have the reaction. So in the second diagram, what they have done is they have replaced the supports by reaction. That is reaction at A and reaction at B. Which is acting vertically upwards. That is perpendicular to the plane of action. So here the beam is exactly horizontal. So the reaction is acting vertically upwards. So this is what is called as roller support. Roller support is a support which has only one reaction. I hope it is clear to everyone. Everybody
Yes,
able to hear me? Yes. Okay, good. Now, next is hinged support. Now see, hinged support. How is hinged support denoted? Hinged support is denoted in the form of a triangle along with a single line. You will not have circles as you had in the roller support. So one needs to be very careful when you are distinguishing between the roller supports and hinged supports. Okay, this is what is called as hinge support, wherein you will have a simple triangle along with the line, and you will have some small lines at the bottom. Now what you need to keep in mind is hinged support always has two reactions. Which are those two reactions? One in vertical direction, one in horizontal direction. So as you can see, this beam AB, which has a hinged support at A as well as at B, the reactions are shown in the other diagram. That is, at A you have RAY and you have RAX. RAY and RAX. So these two are the reactions for this hinge. Now what is this RA? RA is nothing but it is resultant of this horizontal and vertical reaction. Is that clear? Okay. Similarly, you have a reaction at end B, that is a hinged support. So the reactions at B are one vertical reaction, that is RBX and RBY. What is this RB? RB is nothing but it is the resultant of both of these reactions. So you keep one thing in mind, that hinged supports always has two reactions, one in horizontal direction and the other one in the vertical direction. Okay, so roller support has only one reaction, that is in vertical direction. Okay, now what are these hinge supports? They are those which exert reactions in any direction, but from a convenient point of view, we resolve these reactions into two components. Therefore hinged support restricts translation in both the direction. Okay, both the direction in the sense in the horizontal direction as well as in the vertical direction. Even rotation is possible in these type of supports. So rotation is possible both in roller support as well as in hinged support. Okay, so the next type of support what we are going to study here is fixed support. Okay, now you just have a look at this fixed support. The type of notation you are going to use in order to show this fixed support would be just a single line. Okay, so single line with small lines, so which means that it is a fixed support. Now this fixed support is that type of support which will restrict both translation and rotation. Translation both directions, that is horizontal and vertical. Along with that, it also restricts the rotation of the body. So we saw in the other two types of supports wherein we had only restriction for translation. We had restrictions only for translation, whereas we did not have any restriction for rotation. Whereas in this fixed type of support, it resists translation as well as rotation of the body. I hope all these three types of supports are clear to everyone. That is roller, hinged, and fixed. So coming down to the first one, roller support, denotion, a triangle with small circles, okay, and number of reactions for roller support is only one, that is vertical. So it restrains translation in only one direction. When you come down to hinge, so hinge is denoted by a triangle with small line, okay. It restricts the translation along both the directions, that is x as well as y, and that is why we have the reaction in vertical direction as well as in horizontal direction. And one needs to note that in both these types of supports, we are not going to restrict the rotation, whereas in the third support, that is fixed support, what happens is we have a support wherein translation in both the directions are restricted along with rotation of the body. So you can see we have a fixed support at end A, and we have the reactions, that is in vertical direction, in horizontal direction, and along with that we do have a movement also. Now this movement sign which you can see at point A, that is what is called as restricting the beam from bending or from rotation. So similarly at end B also you have a fixed support which is shown by a vertical reaction, a horizontal reaction, and there is a movement, that is MB, which is restricting the beam from rotation.